Gentlemen, happy Valentine's Day. I love you, brothers. My Mate brothers. I shared a talk with you. Honest, simple, solid, and true. I loved this talk, actually. It was, made me think a lot. And I just wanted to share a few things. I appreciated the messages this week and made me think a little bit about this talk, and my thoughts actually kind of, I felt like my mind was going similar places as some of your previous thoughts. Drew talking about weaknesses and strengths and that two-edged sword, and I think to be an honest, simple, solid, and true dude or brother, I think humility is in the mix of that. But there's just 3 points I wanted to hit home on. One thing he said is we become like him when we lift our sights above our own. And I just thought, man, that's a simple way to strive to become honest, simple, solid, and true, is just taking our sights and lifting them, elevating them, and making it maybe a little bit uncomfortable, similar to what Brad talked about actually earlier in an earlier thought, and just the concept of raising the bar a little bit. And I think in the process we can become a little more honest, simple, solid, and true. The other quote, the other thing I thought was awesome was submit personal tendencies to the will of the Father. And that's a hard one to do all the time, but it's powerful. I think when we align ourselves with God and we put His will first, it's amazing the Spirit that comes into our lives and the blessings and the miracles that I've seen in my life as I've done that. Anyways, that's the second thought. The third one that I wrote down was just another thing he said. We are most right with God when we are right with others. And I think that's true. I think to be an honest, simple, solid, true dude, we are most right with God when we're right with others. And I felt that in my life. When things aren't right with somebody, I feel it. And I appreciate relationships. I appreciate my friendships, and I do want to be a man that's honest, simple, solid, and true. The other thing that I thought was interesting too, it just made me think as I listened to this talk, was when our focus shifts to life being about us or a situation in church or serving, when we shift our sights off the idea of the will of the Father or our own personal tendencies, when we make it about us, it's funny how that things get a little funky. And that's something I just thought about, is I do know that as we're honest and we're simple, solid, and truthful in our service, and we make it about others and not about ourselves, man, it stays a little more tidy. The pride can, make a mess. And so, anyways, just a few thoughts. Good talk. Loved it. My father-in-law actually shared it with me, and I had the privilege of traveling this weekend, listening to it with my wife, and we just had a solid conversation about some of the principles in here as well. I just wanted to share one more thing with you that kind of struck me, and I thought it was awesome. You know, church culture is interesting. when a dear friend who's a bishop putting his heart on the line, trying to do all he can, um, you know, and says his biggest challenge as a bishop is his upper management or his leader, man, it makes you think. Not question my testimony or anything like that, but church culture can be so interesting. And it's so refreshing to just see Christians being Christians. And I witnessed that this weekend. We went up to Thomas Rhett in Edmonton, took one of our twins, just mom and dad and Ty. Awesome. Jordan Davis opened for Thomas Rhett. And at the very end of the show, he just said, I want to get personal with you for just 1 second. I'm going to sing you my last song. And it was By Dirt, a great song. But he said, I just want to tell you folks one thing that I know. And he said, I want to recognize 3 things in my life that bring happiness. Number 1, my faith in Jesus Christ. Second, my family. And third, good friends. And he said, I'm not talking about friends that are just good people or fun to be around. I'm talking about the friends that will call you in the moment when the first 2 things are out of line. And I thought, that's the Mate brothers. I hope that that's the case. And it's just a good Christian message, and I appreciate it. I felt the spirit. And anyways, and even Ty was just, when he said faith in Jesus Christ, Ty actually just shouted like, go, he was so excited that here's this guy who doesn't care about money, doesn't care about fame, really honestly is just trying to be an honest, simple, solid, true dude. And anyways, boys, I love you. You're all examples of these things in my life. And happy Valentine's Day. Love you, boys.